Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Thankfully It's Friday and this our fantastic 100th edition. How about that, eh? 100. Who'd have thought it all those months ago that we'd have, well, needed 100 for a start, but done 100? Well, great. And I think we've had a fantastic time. And I'm joined today not only by the inimitable Jacquie Mount, who's been on television more often than anything this week. I think this is day 3.
Yes.
But we've also got Ami Copeland with us. And Ami, as you know, was the head of the team that put together our summit. So I think she's got a lot to talk about. You will see I've got 100 behind me. No, I've had one comment already. It's not my birthday. It is our 100th anniversary. And there is a whole story behind getting this 100, I'm afraid. I decided to get them. Couldn't get them where I am, but they said you've got one in Southampton, which is, I don't know, 10 miles away or something or other. So I shot off to Southampton. Everything went well. There I was with my balloons all packed up, waiting to come back. Then I had to try and get in the lift to get down to the car park. So that was the first problem because everybody is being very COVID careful. So you stand in a queue, then the doors open and there's somebody in there. And so you have to wait. Then it goes up and down and eventually made that. Got to the car park, 105 people waiting to get their ticket validated to get out of the car park. So I moved across this. I thought, I'll beat this. I'll go to the John Lewis bit. Went over there. There were only 57 there. So I did better, but God, it takes some time. And I literally walked through the door about 7 minutes ago. Ami was still talking to June on the phone about something really important. And I managed to drag June away. She got the computer here. So once again, June keeps the show on the road, but hides in the distance somewhere, not wanting to take the limelight. So, wow, what a year it's been. And it hasn't even finished yet. We are probably got a couple more episodes to go yet, but 100. I mean, I think that's something you can all be proud of. You've kept us on air because you keep tuning in, as they say. So that's what this is all about. We're only here because you're there to listen. And you've been listening in your hundreds, usually thousands occasionally. And if we've got something really important to say, then you're queuing up. And that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everybody who's joined us and have come to us through Facebook, or you're looking at us in a couple of days' time on YouTube, or you're coming to us directly through ICB, whatever. This is ICB TV. This is the TV for you. And next year, we're working on even different, bigger and better things to do with ICB TV because it has been very successful. You are still tuning in. Some of you, like Kirsty St. John, I'm sure, so tuning in today, seems to have been there every day. I don't know what else she does with her life, but she certainly joins into TV. So thank you very much for that. And there's several others that I could mention as well. So thank you for being part of ICB TV. Thank you for validating our idea of doing this, because who knows what happens and what's going to be liked or disliked when we do things. It never quite works out to plan. But this was, again, one of those weird ideas that we had on the spur of the moment. And I can't quite remember, but I think we were up the day after we closed the office. So, you know, we've done this right at the very beginning. Others have copied. I have to say, I don't think anybody else has equaled, but I would, wouldn't I? And we are so pleased with the way it's all gone. We're going to do even more next year in a different way, though. We're looking at sort of different formats. I know I see Ami frowning there a little bit because she's obviously the one that's got to work this all out. Ami, you're here today to give us some facts and figures, but can we do Jackie's bit first today? Are you happy with that? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
But Jacquie, I think you've been busy on the TV already this week, but you've got a couple of other things just to cover today.
Yes, just a very few things. You'll be pleased to know it's probably the first, just as well it's number 100, because it's probably the first Friday. I haven't got enough to keep you going for any longer than about 10 minutes today. Just really not much has come out this week. Looking at the COVID furlough stuff, there are some amendments that have been made to all the HMRC information on there now. I've had a quick look at them and there's not anything that's detailed, but if there is any changes, and the one that I did see today was that there are some changes to following for holidays over Christmas. Now, what I will do is I will get something up and out. I haven't had a chance to have a look at it today, but I will get something up. I'll put it on the hub. So we'll get the COVID hub updated with everything that's outstanding. The only other new notification that I picked up today is that there are some new grants available for pubs in tiers 2 and 3 that cannot serve the full meal. So as you're aware, I think if you're in tier 3, they're shut anyway. But if they're in tier 2, they can serve drinks, but only, this is in England, by the way, they can serve drinks, but only with a substantial meal. And there is an ongoing conversation at the moment, shall we say, about whether a Scotch egg is a substantial meal or not. I suppose it depends on what they serve with it. But apart from that, but for those pubs that are in tiers 2 and 3, there are some additional grants on top of everything that's been announced so far of £1,000 grant. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go, but that's to cover the loss that they're going to make through going into the high tiers leading up to the Christmas period. So some more grants available for pubs. And the only other one I've got really is I picked this up on one of the web chat lines, that when you do your year-end accounts for limited companies, or anybody really, you need, one of the criteria for doing a set of year-end accounts is that the company is a going concern. And that's something that you have to put into your notes. You have to state that the company is a going concern. Now, with the shutdown this year, I don't know the answer to this. I'm just saying it's out there as a discussion point at the moment, is that you should be very careful when looking at companies to check that they are actually going concerns and they are going to be carrying on. Because otherwise, if you state that it's a going concern and it suddenly goes into liquidation because it's in a very difficult situation, COVID notwithstanding, then that's going to be an issue. So that's really all I've got on furloughing. The last 2 days, those of you who have joined me for the last 2 days, we've been looking at the changes to imports and exports. We've looked at customs, we've looked at VAT, we've looked at what's happening in Northern Ireland. There are a lot of things we're going to have to come back to in the new year and finalise, because we're still not 100% certain. And I do have some questions that have come in. What I'm actually going to do is I'm not actually going to cover those today because I don't know whether those specific people are online today, but I will come back to you if you have put a question up. I'll come back to you individually. And we have now got ready, what will be ready to go fairly early next week, is a tab on our resources page on our ICB website. And I will take all the information that I've put together and I will summarize that for you with some links, and I'll start to build up a set of FAQs on there. So we're hoping that that's going to be released probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So there will be some information, and as I said, I'll put it all up there. We will try and see if we can get out the slides that I've done up for you to look at. But really, that's all I've got today. So yes, short and sweet, and probably the first day when I haven't had masses of bits of information to pass out. So back to you, Garry.
Lovely, thank you for that, Jackie, and thank you. I'm getting a few people dinging here saying loving the 100 balloons. Somebody says this is a backdrop. No, it's a proper balloon. It's not a backdrop. It's not a Zoom special. And Amy, you've got some stats for us, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I've got one very good stat, which is that in terms of the amount of hours that ICB bookkeepers have watched ICB TV, we should have asked people, we should do a poll really, shouldn't we? But I'm just going to tell you.
Do you want to do a poll?
No, I don't think we should do a poll.
Go on. Yeah, they do like it.
All right, well, so it's 13,640 hours.
Oh.
So I don't know if anyone's smart enough to just tell us what you could guess how many, if you were one person, you were doing that all by yourself, how long that would take you. Can anyone do the maths? That's a good guess, isn't it?
13,000 hours. Jeepers.
You guess 13,000 hours? Do you know how many weeks that is, or months? Oh, there we go. Now, did you just do that off the top of your head or with a calculator? 568 days, says Ian Allen. And Helen Cookson says, thank you. Yeah, so basically that is 1.5 years worth of hours of ICB TV that we've all watched together. So again, it's basically just, you know, thankfully we're not just one person doing all of that. We are a community of people spreading the load. Yeah, so a huge amount of ICB TV being watched.
I've actually got a couple of questions come through already. Jen, hi, I missed ICB TV episode 99 yesterday and I was wondering if there is a link to watch it again, please. Yes, there will be.
Yeah.
It's already up on Facebook. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it was certainly on Facebook this morning.
Yeah, great. And same thing, but this is just a number, 889-242. How do we get to see the videos on import-export that Jackie has done this week? So that one's just been answered. And Hannah Crafer, happy 100th edition. Thank you all for everything. Your support during this crazy time has been amazing. Back at you, Hannah. You know, your support for ICB as the membership has been absolutely brilliant. You've done exactly what we wanted you to do, which was lean on us when you needed to lean on us and help us and tell us which way you wanted to go and what you wanted from us. And that's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, YouTube, it's up on there. So yeah, it cuts both ways, as they say, and it really has done recently. So 568 days, that was the one, yeah. Thank you, ICB, for these informative sessions. I need to re-watch the episodes Jackie did this week. I know it's difficult to believe they're that good, isn't it? You have to watch them at least twice, I think.
I had someone yesterday came up and said they felt that there was so much in there, they were going to have to watch it 10 times if they could, as I said, if they could bear to sit through me 10 times to just get the information. But hopefully you won't need to sit through it because it will all be up on the hub, hopefully by...
Yeah, obviously a bookkeeper because he's worked it out in days and weeks and various other things. So yeah, year and a half, you know, that's a lot of a life, isn't it? Yeah. So anything else for us, Amy?
I'm just what I will do in the chat, I'm just going to post a link to the ICB TV playlist. So all of the all 100 episodes are the ICB TV playlist. I've just had a quick scan. I sort of have this feeling that 99 is not there, but it will be very shortly.
It will be.
Sorry to everybody who booked in and got 99's link when they wanted to. I know that was a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's good, really. Yeah, and just
we might be working on a bit of a video for the end of the year about COVID year and what we've done and what we've been up to and things and various bits. So,
well, we'll have to now, won't we? Yeah, we are. I mean, certainly there's going to be a little bit of an impact report, and we're going to make it as interesting to look at, whether that's animated or just a sort of an infographic, because I think, yeah, that we've really done a great deal this year collectively, and there's been such a huge amount of support for the great work of bookkeepers that we just want to make sure we document it, make sure everybody knows. But yeah, for us, it's certainly one of our biggest bookkeepers summit with over 1,000 people there. Lots more speakers than ever, and a great global bookkeeping week. We had some really brilliant things coming from clients and the other ICBs around the world, and obviously our members as well. So thanks everybody for you know, giving that your all as well. And I think that just continues to get bigger and better every year as well, and that really just helps us to keep raising the profile of great bookkeeping. I
got an email from Bryony saying, does this mean you're going to drop Inspire Tour next year? No way. No. No, Inspire Tour will be there. One way or another, it's definitely going to be there. It's now in the bookkeeper's calendar every year, and it will still be there. And we are talking about it. We've had, I think, 2 meetings about that so far, and we've had long emails between ourselves talking about the best way to do that and what you want. So you've still got time, actually, if you want to influence what we do at the next Inspire Tour, you've still got a chance. Get your emails in, send it to customer services, and make it for Amy's attention. And that's AMI. Don't get it with an AMY because that's a different Amy in our company. And it just takes a bit more time. So if you just mark it for Amy's attention in the headline, Amy-Summit, or no, Amy-Inspire, and then we'll see what we can do. And no doubt Amy will be as inspiring as she was last year.
Yeah, I will try my best. I'm actually working a lot with Sujay, and we're working together on making sure that we've got lots of events and CPD and support to offer you next year, and some really exciting things that I can't wait to tell you about, but I probably will wait until at least January. But if you have the opportunity to meet Sujay or go to a branch meeting where he's in attendance, he has got my ear. So bend his first and then he can bend it for you. But yeah, we're plotting. So lots to look forward to.
Sujay has sent me recently a couple of the forms, the customer appreciation forms that have been coming in. Obviously, they were very, very heavily pleased with Sujay. No doubt he was sending me all of them, but yeah, they were all coming through. And a lot of people saying, this is great, this is fantastic, this is just what we wanted. A couple of people saying, yeah, we could have done with this earlier. Yeah, okay, so some ideas took us a while to get round to, but yeah, he's going down particularly well. I did have one lady this week that was saying that she had been using our contract, engagement contract for clients, and she felt she'd been to a solicitor, and the solicitor had said it needed to have more in it. And I said, well, yeah, but ours is very much the base. It is a starting point, but it is a good contract. It was put together by a solicitor, our friend Ben, when he was working with us, and we think it's quite good. Oh, by the way, how much did the solicitor charge you? And she sort of went quiet a little while, and she talked around it a little while. So she said, well, he charged me 3,100 originally, which I didn't think was too bad. The problem is that all of my clients have come back with niggly little things, and it's so far cost me another 4,200 to sort those things out. So I said, well, that's fine. If you send me 7,500, I'll update mine for you. It's fine. But ours is good. So don't let anybody tell you it's not. It's a good contract. Contracts are one of those things that the bigger the contract, the more holes somebody will try and find in it. And I always remember that Mark Watson-Gandy, Professor Mark Watson-Gandy, our original head of standards, wrote us a contract, and he said you put in there what you need specifically to cover, but you make it such that it doesn't look as if you're trying to cover everything, because if it looks like that, it will be expected to cover everything. So if you don't put something in there and somebody picks you up on that, you haven't got a leg to stand on. Whereas if you talk in slightly more general terms about quality and about standards, etc., then it's far better, because then the interpretation is between the two parties, and that's as far as it goes. So anyway, yeah, Amy's just put up the YouTube playlist. Is that right?
I have indeed, yes.
Yeah,
It looks like it's slightly out of order at the top there, but we will rejiggle it. But yeah, they're all there to watch. Lots of happy smiling faces as well. We've got our own ideas of what the highlights are, which we're putting together for the impact report. But
Angela Visor, thank you very much for that, Angela. It's lovely to know that you like what we're doing. Ian Allen has said, personally, though I miss the human interaction of the summit, it actually works so well online because you can see all of the seminars, not just a select few. Thank you all for such a good event. Yeah, we're trying to come up with something different for Summit next year. Obviously, it's our 25th anniversary, so we've got to do something big. But talking to people, there is now a huge chunk of people who are saying, well, yeah, but I don't actually like being away from my family for 2 nights. Great as the summit is, I'll think about it. So we're trying to work out a way that we can keep both sides of that particular divide happy. And I know it won't be easy. And some of you do like a couple of days away from her indoors or him indoors. So yeah, that's one of those things. But we also appreciate that the biggest percentage of our members have got children. And children are very difficult to leave for a while. You know, not alone you can't sometimes, but most of you don't even want to, you know. So yeah, we're working with it. And don't worry, we're not going to start cutting everybody off who can't take 2 days out and come and visit us or something else. So that's great. Jan, you guys are absolutely amazing in all the efforts you put in, keep us updated. I shouldn't keep reading these out, should I really? They're very nice. But thank you very much for them, Jan. That's wonderful. The fact that you are here and listening makes it all worthwhile. You know, it's like being on the BBC. If nobody tuned in, it would be a waste of time. And not that we're quite as big as the BBC yet, but we keep trying. You know, we keep trying. What else have we got on the other questions up here?
We've got a couple of furlough questions there, Gary.
Yeah, and fire away, Jackie.
Right, Paula Halliday, good afternoon, Paula, said the new furlough reclaim rules state that claims for November need to be submitted by the 14th of December. What do I do if the payroll that covers the end of November is not usually processed until after the 14th of December, i.e. 21st of November to the 22nd of November to the 21st of December? Well, you have to claim for the 30 days of November as a November claim. So what you might need to do is to claim half and half. So claim what you have to claim for what you've actually paid for the first 2 weeks and what you anticipate paying for the last 2 weeks. So it's got to cover the period. But once you come to the following month, you can then start to claim in advance if you want to, up to about 14 days. So I think you're just going to have to work the dates out, but you do need to claim for the 30 days in the first month. I think you just got to adjust your figures and estimate what it's going to be, and then maybe make a correction the next time you do a submission.
That's a good question here. When should the CPD be allocated for the summit? Amy?
Well, that is a very good question. So I guess the thing with the summit is that there was too much content to watch over the 2 days, unless you were really active. And I know a lot of people are still catching up. And you've got until mid-February to do that. So as long as you had a ticket in the first place, you've still got all that time. If you do want to buy a ticket subsequently, just call us up. And you're desperate.
Yeah.
But so basically,
the big change on the CPD. Sorry to interrupt you there. There's a change. I've been to a couple of meetings recently about CPD, because obviously we want to do even more CPD. And there's the thought process now that CPD shouldn't be automatically added to a person's record, because it stops the person thinking about what they're trying to achieve and then doing it. So we're talking about this at the moment. It might be that next year, for all the CPD, you will get notification from us that you've achieved something. You'll get your certificate, but you then have to go on to your My ICB and upload it yourself, so that you've got a, we're not treating you, we're not making things too easy for you. Let's put it that way. So we're thinking about that at the moment. Be interesting to see. Just a bit more feedback from the forms that have come back already to Sujay, and he's pulling these forms in thick and fast at the moment. But one of the big things was everybody would like to have a test before they take on a practice license. Now, I haven't seen this in detail. I've just had this note passed to me by my other 3/4 there, saying that they want a test before getting a practice license. So I'm going to follow that up and find out what that's about. But that's come from you, not from us, although I did have this idea a little while ago. We were working on it. The other thing is annual tests for payroll and self-assessment tax. Now, this is something we've discussed with Jackie a number of times, and with our team, Peter and Alison. A lot of you feel that that changes every year, and it would be nice to have some sort of tick in a box somewhere to say that you're up to date. So it's a bit like licensing the car. You know, the fact that you bought the car in 1954, you have to keep checking your licenses or something like that. So yeah, we will certainly look at that.
Gary, can I interrupt there? Because I took a technical query from someone this week on payroll on a change that had happened over 3 years ago that they were not aware of. And it's a significant change. Yeah. And this particular member was very surprised and, oh, can we not do that anymore? And I said, no, you haven't been able to do it for 3 years. And that concerned me a little bit. So yeah, I'm certainly all for annual updates on those.
And one of the other things, those people who are currently employing staff would like the ICB to provide an annual test which they can give to their staff. Now, actually, we are working on this at the moment. I spoke to Peter Stewart, our Director of Learning, only a couple of days ago, and he is now beginning the process of putting together a test which people can do when they come for an interview. So people come and they say, well, I've got this qualification, I've been a bookkeeper for years, etc., etc. It's all very well if they've got the ICBs. Other people, ICB members tend to have work, so there are very few of them around. So people are taking on, you know, the AATs, ACCAs, etc. And they think they're qualified. Well, they might be, but they're not necessarily good enough to be bookkeepers straight off. So we're going to be doing an onboarding test for everybody that our members can have and then give to their new recruits just to see how they do. So I think the surprising thing is I've always hated tests. But most of our members, they get used to this, I think, doing exams, and then they want to be tested on a regular basis just to prove they're still as good. So we're happy to oblige with that. It'll take, I don't know, Jackie, a couple of months until we start those rolling out, do you think?
At least, yes, with what's going on at the moment, I would think.
Okay.
No, but as soon as possible, yeah.
I just want to can I refer back to CPD at the summit, because I'm not sure I got to finish what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, carry on.
And sometimes you've got to lean back in, guys. So the CPD at the summit, even though it is an ICB organized event, we are not going to add it onto your record automatically. And that is because we don't know when you will have completed your summit experience, basically. Because if you wanted to watch one video every Sunday night, if that's your bag, until the 15th of February, we're not going to keep logging in to check that you were doing that. So please do log that yourself on the CPD log. And it is like most other types of courses, it is 1 hour equals 1 structured point. Most of the sessions were about 30 minutes though. So roughly half a point for one session. Jackie, I'm tempted to say Jackie should just have like 3 points for every minute, basically. So some of them you know, also I think the thing to remember with CPD is that it is, you know, what might be great CPD for somebody may not be the right CPD for you. So, you know, if you did find something really valuable, then record it. And if actually you thought that something you didn't really learn anything, then don't record it. You know, you're grown-ups, I always think. Yeah, I was just going to say also for the networking, there was loads of networking, and we think that networking is really valuable. But we would normally say that networking is unstructured. So if you've done an hour of networking, that's 1 unstructured point.
Right.
Someone said, Amy, you're right. Thanks. I haven't read the rest of the message, but thanks, Yolanda. And also Yatunde. So I was actually having a bit of a debate with June earlier about June thinks that members want tests. I think that members want update courses. And interestingly enough, Yatunde, you've said, I'd like an update course. So that, I mean, that would be a great poll. But then I
think we've got to do update courses as well as tests, because I mean, I think the thing is, if things change, we do it verbally quite. I mean, Jackie will be rolling these things out. I mean, she's done thousands over the last 10 months or something like that. And courses are available, or people pick them up from HMRC or from other training providers or whatever it might be. I think what we've got to do is validate that at the end, because you know, there are organizations that will provide a CPD tick, but actually there's no testing involved with that. So we don't accept that as it is at the moment, because you ring up and say, I'm doing a CPD course, and they say, that's great, here's your number, we're validating you. And that's not acceptable to us, you know as well as I do. So it's got to be done properly, it's got to be done professionally. So yeah, but it can be done. It doesn't have to be just the ICB stuff. I think that's right. But yeah, so the summit then is the first of our new regime of letting people upload their own CPD. How about that? That's good.
So Paul Ingram is just wondering whether am I thinking that you'll add each individual session to your CPD log or do it separately? That is absolutely up to you. I know at the moment there's a bit of an issue where the CPD log, it doesn't make it very easy for you to sort of filter for years or subjects or anything like that. So if you particularly dislike having a massive list of CPD, stick it in as one lump, I would, if I were you. Again, it does run, I'm pretty sure about this, it runs in line with your membership year. So if you're coming up to the end of your year and you want to bank, you know, 5 sessions, do that. But totally up to you as far as I'm concerned.
So it says here, Amy 5, June 0. Does that mean tests versus updates?
Looks like you wrote that.
Yeah, it does, but I didn't.
Then June logged in as you.
You just logged in as Garry Carter and is posting.
Oh, this is gonna, you can see where this session's going, can't you?
Yeah, okay.
Ian doesn't want tests. We've got somebody who doesn't want more tests, but lots seem to want more CPD. But my personal view, and I'm just going to sling this in, as I've just said a while ago, with the sort of topics which change year to year, like payroll and self-assessment, then there does need to be some way of us being sure that you are aware of the changes. Now, we're not suggesting that you're going to have to completely redo, say, the payroll diploma or a 3-hour SAT exam, but it will probably be a short, sharp test on the changes over the last year. It's certainly, I don't think we're going to ask you, well, I'm sure we're not going to ask you to redo the whole exam again. So it is going to be an update test.
No, absolutely.
No, it's just going to be an update.
Make sure that, you know, the lights are on and you're home. I mean, that's the main thing, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we're looking at.
I've had a very helpful text here now saying, "Oh, it's me, not GC." Now that doesn't help.
It's Alex. It's Alex.
It's June, is it? So therefore,
Alex.
It's Alex.
Alex.
Oh, right. Okay.
Beautifully.
Right. Okay.
This is rapidly heading into hysteric stage, isn't it?
You'd think by like the 100th episode we'd have this down.
Refresh is much better.
Oh, they're coming in thick and fast.
Gillian O, I'm tested out.
Oh gosh, this is weird.
ICB,
Alex.
it's not. Oh, I see. Right.
Alex is like, it's not me. Okay, so there's a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, I've been hacked. It's about time.
Yeah.
But if
okay. Is that it, Amy? Can I just pick up on a few questions coming in before I lose them? Right. Someone anonymous says, does anybody know how accounting packages, Sage, etc., have been set up to deal with EU purchases, sales, and VAT from January? Well, the answer to that is, as far as I'm concerned, is no, I don't know how. But depending on how you're actually going to put the stuff through, there should be no major changes needed, because you're either exporting at zero rated VAT, or you're exporting at, or you're selling at standard rate VAT, or if you're bringing imports in, it's reverse charge. And I think those are already in most software systems. So I personally don't think you're going to need that many changes to the software. You just need to know how to put the stuff through and use what you've got. But if in doubt, speak to your software provider and they will tell you what the situation is. And I will reiterate that the complicated part of this, if you think this is complex, those of you in Great Britain, just be thankful you're not based in Northern Ireland, because I had a lovely conversation with Victor Brownlow, who is our branch chair in Northern Ireland, on Monday, and I went through this with him. And it's still quite up in the air about some of the things that are going on with Northern Ireland. And I was watching a news item. They were talking to some small Northern Ireland businesses last night, and they were saying the changes to the paperwork, if you're based in Northern Ireland, are going to be quite huge. And we are going to revisit Northern Ireland in the new year when we know a little bit more about how this is going to happen. And hopefully we won't all be jammed up with lorries sitting on motorways of ports trying to get on and off of ferries or whatever. Polly is saying, has anyone had trouble with HMRC online furlough claim? I keep getting a message saying having technical issues, please try later. I've now tried for 4 days for one of my payroll clients. I'm not aware of anything, so if anybody else has got some information on that and they're having problems, please do let us know. And on the Kirsty's come up with a VAT code update. This is from QuickBooks. After the UK leaves the EU, you will need to account for the import VAT on your VAT return. To make it easier for you, we have added the following new VAT codes: PVA import at 20% and zero, because this is coming in as a reverse charge, but it's slightly different from the reverse charges we used to use. So they've obviously done this for imported goods, so PVA import VAT. So if QuickBooks have done it, I'm sure the other main software packages have done it as well.
Ian's just to say, no, I did 6 claims last night with no issues.
Oh, okay. So Polly, maybe it's if you've done a claim before, if not, you might just have to ring HMRC. Sorry about that. Someone else has done some claims. Judith wants to register client as an MTD VAT agent. They don't know the date of VAT registration. How can I find this out? Well, that would have come out on the original VAT registration certificate, but I'm not sure if it was not available online. So again, it's a long time since I've done a VAT registration. So if anyone's got the answer to that one, how can you find the date of VAT registration? I'm sure I should know that off the top of my head.
Faye says she's just done 2 today. Everything okay?
Okay.
Doing a lot of VAT, so yeah, a lot of returns and things. Great. Fantastic.
And right at the end, before I clear these down, Nicola said you went over buying and selling services on the presentation, but I couldn't find much on this aspect on the written documentation on the ICB website. Will this be updated? Yes, it will. Nicola, I'm going to be doing that over the next few days. I think that's everything I've got there. Let's get rid of some of these questions.
I just wanted to chip in and say that Nikki quite wisely suggests, why don't we just get tested on the updates? And I think that for me is a nice idea.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it will be.
Your bookkeepers, you have got boxes that need to be ticked, and I think it is useful to at least be able to acknowledge your hard work. So yeah, I think a hybrid
and they'll be open book, you know, they're not exactly, you're not going to have to be chopped off into a corner somewhere and proctored or anything else and what have you. It's just to make sure you've picked up the salient points, because sometimes, as we know, people read things differently, or we write things how we think they should be written, and we understand them, but people who don't understand them sometimes pick things up wrong. So the tests are good for us as well, because we can see whether, if we find, say, for example, question 3, everybody's getting wrong, and, you know, Jackie's been doing this for too many years that she wishes to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say, oh, well, that's funny. Why is everybody getting that wrong answer, the same wrong answer? And then it turns out that they've misinterpreted something. And I always remember very early on, one of our examiners, Stafford Mitchell, was unfortunately no longer with us, but he was working with Leslie Ellis, and they wrote a paper about sets of chairs, and then were costing X amount of pounds. And then the number was, you know, you buy 5, and then this what happens. And then in the middle of the exams, we had people getting really upset because they didn't know whether it meant 5 chairs or 5 sets. Well, when it was written, it looked perfectly sensible. It was verified. It looked, yeah, we know what we're answering. But of course, when you're in the heat of an examination, it can be completely different. So there was a complete rumpus, and we were having to ring around hundreds of exam centres. In those days, everybody's sitting there with their paper on their desk, 18 inches from the person next door to them, etc., just to get it right. So, and Jackie and I both know that quite often she and I have had emails between us, and we both knew what we meant, but it didn't come out the way the other end, did it?
Oh yes, I know what I wrote.
Amy, any more from you?
Yes, I was somebody's just asked, how do I actually access the Bookkeepers Summit site? So I'm sorry, because actually there is a kind of missing link on our website. If you've already booked your tickets, you can go to the Summit microsite, which is bookkeepersummit.com. So many double letters, it's quite hard to type in. And there's a login button right there on the homepage of that website. I'll also add that back. So on our website, on the main website, if you go to bookkeepers.org.uk/summit, that's the page on our main website that talks about the summit. And I will add the link there because it is, I think it's missing. Now, if you haven't got tickets, you won't be able to log into the Bookkeepers Summit event website. So you need to call us.
Can they buy a ticket now?
Yes. I mean, I say yes because we haven't quite figured out how much that would cost.
Well, it cost as much as at least what everybody else paid, obviously, because they were there on time. But I'm just thinking a lot. Since Summit was on last month, I was looking the other day. I think we've registered an extra 250 new people, so they might want it, and it's not their fault they weren't members and couldn't get hold of it before that. So I don't know. It's just something worth thinking about.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
I think the content
on air.
The content is still relevant. So
yeah,
absolutely. And there's usually about 150 people online in the Bookkeeper Summit at any one time. So
I know, it's wonderful, isn't it?
It's still pretty fun. The social feed still works. The only thing that doesn't work is that sort of the video meetings in the breakout rooms, which was so fun. But the social feed is still there, so you can still hang out. And we are definitely doing some work now to try to get something that's sort of equivalent to that social network for the whole year, not just for Summit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big priority for us at the moment. It was lovely to see you all join together. I mean, we've had forums for a long time. We've always had forums, but they're a bit boring, really, by today's standards, I think, and people sort of get waylaid and everything on them. But I think what happened with Summit and the social interaction was just a complete pat on the back for everybody that's thinking of doing it differently. You know, we need a YouTube type accessibility to everybody and everything. And if we can persuade you occasionally put your own picture on there instead of your dog's picture, that'd be even better still.
I have to say, I think of the whole summit, apart from the whole thing, I think my favourite bit was probably dropping into the lounges to meet you all around the table. I kept bumping into Sujay in the rooms as well, so he was obviously doing the same thing as I was. And that was lovely, particularly things like the newbie rooms where you could go in and meet new members and give them some support and things like that, and just drop in on an informal basis. I think that was the bit I found was the most amazing part of it, apart from all the content, of course. But
we had a huge growth in the number of newbies, because obviously it's far less embarrassing to go straight into a room of Zoom faces than it is of real faces, you know. And yeah, I mean, the number of times we've, as I've said to many branch meetings, the number of people who've turned up in a car park, driven around a car park and gone home again because they haven't quite got the nerve to do it. And I think it opened up, and the more people, the more we can show our members faces, and that, you know, you can see that they're all happy, smiling people, it's going to make it a lot easier to join that sort of network anyway, and draw from what is a fantastic source of information, friendship, support. It's all there, you know. We call it a community, and we don't do that flippantly. I mean, we really do have a huge community. And I was talking to somebody probably a couple of weeks ago now, and she'd emigrated to Australia, and when she got over there, the first thing that she did was registered with ICB in Australia, said, "Hi, I'm here, I'm from the UK." And within 24 hours she'd been to her first branch meeting, and she said they're all the same as in England, except they got funny accents. So, you know, it was great.
They think we've got funny accents as well.
Yeah, I know they do, don't they? But they're wrong. Anyway.
A lot of the UK branches, let's be clear.
Oh, yes. That's right, yeah. Hi, Sue lying up there in the north.
Oh, can I just come back quickly? There's some comments coming in about the VAT registration certificate that Judith put up. If your client's got access to their online account, they can get it from that. You can get a copy of the registration certificate online. And Helen has said, read the VAT registration date. If you log on to your VAT account, you can print out the certificate and it will state the original date for registration. I had to do mine to get an EORI number. And the EORI number, for those that aren't aware, is the number, the registration, Economic Operators Registration something. Can't remember what the I stands for now, number. And you need that to trade abroad. You've always had to have one if you trade outside the EU, but you've got to have it to trade with anybody in the EU now, either in or out. So you'll need an EORI number. So thanks for that. So hopefully Judith says they don't have an online VAT account. They probably need to try and find their original VAT certificate, Judith. But if you've got a problem, come back to me on a one-to-one and we'll get that, find out how we can sort that out for you. Darren has come up and asked about a 2p transfer on the 2nd of December. Darren, I've got your details down. I'll come back to you on a one-to-one on that, because I'm not sure about the dates of that now. So I've got that noted down. I'll come back to you on that one, Darren.
And I've noticed that some of you, all you want for Christmas is an ICB examination. So we are doing examinations. They are online.
Anytime.
I know, people are doing them all the time, day and night, etc. Get in touch with your training provider. They will book you in. Our offices are closing on the 18th, I think it is, Friday the 18th, but things will still happen. But get your examination booked in earlier than that, and then it will just sit there waiting for you. So you can do it at any time. So if you want to do it on Christmas Eve, after you've finished stuffing the turkey, whatever else it is you're doing, it's entirely up to you. You know, it might be your best time with a bit of eggnog or whatever it is inside you. That will do really well.
Oh, Don, I actually got somebody offered to run an exam. I won't mention the person's name. Offered to run an early corporation tax exam through for me, and that was fine. And we decided afterwards that doing it on a Sunday afternoon after a roast lunch and 2 glasses of red wine was not the right time to try and do a corporation tax, because the results were not what this person wanted. But I think it's certainly not someone who's practicing anymore. But having said that about exams, we do have one of our very experienced members, who I'm sure is online this afternoon, who's had a conversation with me recently about doing some revision exams, because she just wants to make sure her knowledge is there. So yeah, and that's someone who is very, very good and a very experienced bookkeeper. So
Yeah, mock exams. Actually, over 20% of the people who buy mock exams have already passed the exam. So that's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which goes back to our bit about, do people want tests or not? I think perhaps some people do, some people don't. But anyway, that's good. Did we just get something else there on furlough pop up? How will we calculate furlough claims that include normal Christmas shutdown? Should we show the employees on leave and claim 80% back?
There is something that's come up about holidays. I think I said earlier, that's come up on the gov.uk website about extended holidays over December and January, and I have not had a chance to have a look at that yet. So I will look that one up and get something up on our COVID hub if I can find anything. So at the moment, I can't answer that one. Oh, thanks. And Amy said identification number. The I stands for. Thank you, Amy.
I can't believe nobody else put it in there. I thought I was going to get beaten to it. Yeah, and I just put a link to Jacquie's excellent and lengthy article about the import and export.
And Garry Carter, or if it said, is just now saying that it is Amy 5 June 3. So June's catching up there. And
in
terms of tests versus courses.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, yeah, I think what we'll do, it's going back to the old days, I suppose, really, and say, right, you can do the course material or do the CPD material. If you take a test, it becomes structured. If you don't, it's unstructured.
Yeah.
Why not? That's the way we do it. Yeah. Anyway.
Are people finding it hard to get their CPD points? I feel like.
No, I don't think they are they? But I think they want to do it I think this is just for keeping their knowledge up to date. I mean, we say it so many times. Who wants to go to a doctor who learned to do his doctoring 20 years ago or something like that? And we've got members that have been with us now for over 20 years. And, they took exams the hard way in the old days, let's call it that. But nonetheless.
I think I'd rather go to a doctor who was qualified 20 years ago than one that just qualified, personally.
Right. Well, okay, you can look at it that way. But if doctor was qualified 20 years ago, presumably he does know about what's happening. So anyway, that's the main thing. So are we about done on that? I think we are, aren't we, everybody? Anything more, Amy, from you?
No, I think that's it from me, really.
Well,
yeah, if you want it, we'll get it for you, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us what it is you want. So congratulations, everybody, for sticking in for 100 episodes of ICB TV. It's been great fun. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We've come out there. You'll notice that it's dressed down Friday, but I put my tie on today because it was something special. And I've also put this is my red, white and blue handkerchief on because, we've had an incredible year. It's not been fun at times. It's been hard. It's been tough. It's been challenging. But at the end of the day, the cream has risen to the top. I mean, ICB is getting so many plaudits. You as the members are being held aloof as being something absolutely fantastic. Everybody else is playing catch up, and that is brilliant. You all deserve a great and fantastic Christmas. Now, we're in a bit of sort of end of term frenzy today over the 100, but actually this isn't the end. We've got a couple more weeks left yet. We're going to be doing some more programs, so don't worry, we are going to be here. You're going to boost every day, tell you what's going on. Jacquie has got, is it 1 or 2 left, Jacquie, now? 2 Fridays?
1 next Friday, officially next Friday. What I will say is all of those comments in the chat line I have copied down. So I'm going to go through them after this, and if there are any queries that I've missed, I will come back to you on them all. I've got them all listed, so copy down.
Great. So for next year, when we start early in January and we start with our first episode for that year of ICB TV, what I want you to think about is what is it exactly that you'd like to hear on ICB TV? Who would you like to see on ICB TV? Would you like to come on to ICB? Have you got something that you would like to discuss or debate with us on ICTV? Let us know. This is your forum. The fact that Jacquie, Amy, and I are enjoying doing it's got nothing to do with it. We're here because of you, because of what you want.
Oh, Garry, sorry. Can I just come in? Ian's just put up, said, got an idea. Make your next one a Room 101 type.
That's
Room
not
101?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Things
Yeah.
we hate, we want to put into the.
Ian, that is a brilliant idea. We will definitely do that one. I'll try and find 3 panelists. We'll come up with 3 and we'll see who gets binned. Right. Oh,
See, you
what a
could test it
brilliant
out
idea.
in
Yeah, well done, Ian.
episode 101.
Right. So, Ian, one of the panelists, let us know.
Definitely.
That's
If you
great.
make the suggestion, you've got to be prepared to back it up, Ian, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, on our, as I say, my red, white and blue, it's all about the UK. We're going to get through this. We're still not through it yet. It still keeps coming back, but you know, we're going to do this by working together, by sorting it out. So please, I've just been into Southampton, as I mentioned before, to get these numbers, and you wouldn't know, other than the masks and people not getting in the lift with you, that anything had happened, because the place is absolutely heaving. So people are out there. They haven't all bought everything online in lockdown and therefore not going to buy anything else. That's not going to happen. So just be careful, please. We want you all with us again next year and onwards and onwards. So have a lovely weekend. I hope you get your Christmas shopping done if you're doing that, and you've booked your turkey and all the rest of it. And you'll hopefully, if Boris has got it right, we should all be able to see at least some of our family over Christmas and have a great time. So see you next week, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye, Merry Christmas.